Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Last review for today but I'm not going to upload this now. I'm going to upload it later today. Um, Maoyuu Maou Yuusha. This one was called Take My Sword, My Lord. Take this sword, my lord, This one was really good. Almost a 5. Almost giving this a 5 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Almost. What's stopping me from giving it, this was episode 8, a full 5? Well, not really much. I just felt, just 4.5 out of 5. Now, let's get into the summary. Now, Mao is gone. No, Demon King. She's gone to it's like the graves of the Demon Kings, ancient ones. So, that's where she's gone to. And she's going to be gone for like 2 months. And the beginning of this episode was actually pretty interesting, to say the least. We have the merchant. He shows up again, and he's having business with Demon King, Queen, her, Mao. But we all know that's not Mao. That's the elder sister maid posing herself as Mao. And he's basically giving her notes, the mail. He got notes that he needs to give to her, and so on and so forth. But there's a catch. He's obviously there because he wants to marry her and stuff. And that's when Yuusha shows up during the situation, and he takes off her ring and shows that it's not her, it's the elder's maid. So that was the whole bit. And then Hero, Yuusha, and the merchant start having a conversation, and we see a mini flashback. It's not really big flashback, just a mini flashback of when Hero Yuusha saw Merchant first time, and he got profits from the war and everything, and he had a party with him and stuff. It was a whole big thing. And supposedly there was a promise between the merchant and Yuusha, Hero, about getting him like a party and girls and everything. It was like, well. So, and then what happens is Yuusha decides to take up on his offer, merchant, from that time. So he just, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, teleports him like into 3 different fucking places. I was like dying when he did that. I was like, what the fuck? And they eventually go to Gate City. And he shows him, that place and how the demons and humans in this area are getting along with each other. And things are going smoothly. And it's like a neutral territory, so on and so forth. And he's just showing this to him. And they have a big party with the demons and everything. And it's like a big, oh. And he just shows that to him, I guess, to say that the scholar, Mao, has changed things. And that it's not a matter of being greed or anything like that, being a merchant. After that, we do, and the only other thing that happens also in this episode was, as summary-wise, Mao goes and meets the magician, and there's like 3 of them, but there's one body, I think, and he meets with her and gives her something, and so on and so forth, and leaves. And then she also, and that's the only thing I'm going to say about Mao. She's only shown once in this episode. She goes into this door that the head maid has opened for her. Now, I think this is going to lead to something huge. Like, huge later on. I think. I'm not 100% sure on this, though. Huge later on. And it's this door that opens, and she goes through, and she says to her, the head maid, if I'm not myself when I come out, and she says, I understand, I'll slay you. That had me on the edge. That's it. And then basically the rest of the episode is the female knight showing this pledge and saying, my soul, my body is yours, Yuusha. I'm like, God damn, what is she doing? And pretty much, it's the hence of the title. Take my sword, take this sword, my lord. That's what she's basically doing. She's giving her sword to Yuusha, her hero, and so on and so forth. And that's basically what she was doing. She was giving herself to him. Because she knows that the Demon King, her ownership of him, and she just wants to be by his side. That's more or less the gist of it. And they have like a ceremony with the whole, knighting thing and what have you. And after that, he says to her, oh, is this a one-time deal? Can I break it? And she says, you could try. And it was just a funny face she made. And then after that, the rest of the episode, we see everyone's getting ready. The little sister maid, older sister maid, and younger sister maid are, talking to the villagers in the winter country, and it's a good time and everything, and so on and so forth. There is, however, cause for alarm. Because after that scene, and everything seems going fine, there's this emissary, these guys that show up at the castle of the Winter King. And he says to the king that you need to mobilize your army and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I think the merchant also gets a letter about what's going on and everything. And apparently, at the Church of Light, they mention a scholar. And we don't know exactly what it's about, but it's not good. So, back to the mansion, with Yuusha and the female knight, the eldest maid and the youngest maid, younger sister maid. The old man and the Winter King show up outside the mansion, and they knock on the door, and they come in. And apparently the story is this. Apparently Mao, Demon King, is to be arrested. She's labeled as a heretic by the church because the potatoes that she made grow are that's food that the demons eat, and it's demon food, and it's against the church, and she needs to be put in jail. And the king's there, and the old man's there, and Yuusha basically doesn't know what to do, and basically the king tries to find a way, I'll do it, and he says no. Yuusha says no. Yuusha's being like kind of I'm not going to say an ass, but this guy, hero, Yuusha, he tends to do everything on his own. And the old man was pissed off at himself because he couldn't help him. Once again, he's doing it alone. And basically, he's telling them, oh, she's going to be gone for 2 months, so she's not there's going to be no way to deal with this. So what he decides to do is he tells the elder sister maid to put on the ring. You'll pose as Mao. You'll pose as her. You'll be, and then I'll just rescue you. That's the whole gist of the plan. What he decides to do. And even the female knight says, if you wanted to, Yuusha, you could destroy the capital and everything. And then he says, no, I'm not going to do that because that's not what she would want it. And then the female's like saying, I'm going with you. No, I'm going with you. And he says, no, you need to stay here to protect the mansion. And that's when he looks at them and he says, I'm leaving. I'll be leaving now. But he's going to come back. And the elder sister maid also tells the younger sister maid about it. That will be moving. And that's where it ends. And the next episode's called, if I'm correct on this, I Am Human. Now, like I said, this alone gives this a 4 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. Almost a perfect score. And I'm not going to say that it's going to happen, but I have a feeling something big is going to happen later on. Now, this was kind of a weird episode because the whole thing with her giving his sword to her and the whole knighting thing with the female knight and Yuusha during this episode. And it was like their episode. But now, with this turn of events, it's like, oh shit. He's leaving again to deal with this situation. Because they labeled her as a heretic, demon king and everything. So it's like... And she was pissed, female knight, because of this situation. So, it's probably... Now, it's like one of those things where you say to yourself, he has to do this on his own, without her help. And that's what he's going to end up doing. And the thing about it is that I think for the female knight and the old man, they're really upset because this is the second time they are unable to help the hero. They're unable to help Yuusha with this situation. And they are forced to just let it go the way it's going. And she wanted to go with him badly. And he says, no, I'm going to do this on my own. Let's, And even the Winter King was pissed. It was like, it's like a very difficult situation. But this series has its it had its war here. And these things happen here. It was like up and down. But this now puts it up again. Like, tense. And I Am Human, I got a feeling that's going to be towards, for next week, it's going to be posing as the Demon King, her, the elder sister maid, posing as the Demon King. She's saying, I am human. It's the same thing with the whole, with the head maid, because that's what she says, I am human, and not a serf, So that was the whole bit on that. But good episode. Have high expectations now for this show, definitely. This was episode 8, so you got to figure that 12 episodes down the road, it's going to get really high. So definitely a good episode. Go check it out. Can only imagine what's going to be next week. See if Yuusha could get out of this situation. Rescue her and get it out of it without too much harm. So, yeah. This has been Bonkai Night 22. I'll see you guys later. Check out this episode. This was spectacular in the end. Spectacular.